up everyone? Welcome back to the Idiot Investor Guide channel with your host Guy Davidson. Today I'm going to be taking you through the first video of how to invest $10 a week. This is basically a series where I want to show that anyone can get into the investment game with just $10 a week. Can be less, can be more. I just wanted to give a number that is achievable for majority of people. What I'll show you is how to passively invest your money. So send an automatic payment to Sharesies every week of $10 and then set it up in Sharesies so that it automatically invests that money into a few different funds. The reason I'm choosing funds for this is because they're much lower risk, so they're not as up and down. Over time, it is shown that these funds will have a steady increase of value. The US 500 fund, for example, was about 7 to 8% year on year. So that's just 7 or 8% of your money that you're getting back without having to do anything. And to put that into context, in a bank, for example, you'll get somewhere at the moment between like 1 and 2%. So instead of having $10 in a bank that's just sitting there and getting 1 or 2%, or spending it on alcohol or cigarettes or something, you can put $10 into Sharesies and be making 8% year on year off that money, which will increase significantly over time. So I'm going to show you through how that actually works in reality starting today, and I'll do an update every month and you'll start to see the compounding interest that the money gets over time. So let's jump into it. So here I am in my Sharesies account. If you haven't created a Sharesies account before, I've left a link below. You can sign up, you'll get $5, I'll get $5. Great way to start your investment journey. It's really easy to sign up. All you need is your IRD number and a ID, so whether that's your driver's license or passport. And once you've set it up, which you can also set up for kids as well, which is a good way to start them on their journey, then you need to top up your funds. And I would recommend setting an automatic payment every week or every month, depending on what you can afford, so that you've always got some money coming in over time, and that will eventually result in a lot of compounding interest, so money adding on top of your own money, which will then increase more money. So that's pretty confusing. A good way to describe it is if you put in $10 today and you get an increase of 8% over time, that 8% will then get an increase of 8% again. So say, let's go with something simple. If you put in $10 and you made 10% return in a year, that would be $1. So you would have $11 for the next year of 10%. So you're getting 10% of $11 now on the second year instead of $10 in the first year. Hope that makes sense. Leave comments below if you want that clarified a bit further, and I can maybe do a whole video on that compounding interest thing. I'll quickly take you through the Sharesies platform so you understand it and show you how I would set it up for some passive investment for $10 a week. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. You should always do your own research when doing investment. This is just some suggestions I can make based on how I would passively invest $10 a week. So the first thing you'll need to do is go to your wallet. You can see in my wallet I've got $10 because I've set up an automatic payment to come out of my account into Sharesies every week of $10. You can see here, this is my wallet top up, was $10, and I'll take you into this in a second, but this is my automatic investment into a few different funds that I've set up. So if I click on top up with a bank deposit, it gives you the details here. So these are the details you need to put in when depositing from your bank into Sharesies, and you can put these in and save it and set it up to automatically go every week or every month, however you want to be investing. Next, you'll need to set up how you're going to invest. I highly recommend setting up an auto investment because that's the most passive way. And by passive, I mean you don't have to do anything. You set it up once and forget about it. That's the most passive way to invest, and investing in a fund is a lot safer option than investing in individual companies or stocks. So if you click on the auto invest button, you can see there's a few pre-made ones. I have set up my own one. This is, again, just my opinion, not financial advice. You can set up however you want to. It may be that you just set up for the NZ top 50, which is the top 50 companies in New Zealand, or you set up for the US 500, the top 500 companies in the United States. You can set up whatever you want to. The idea being that you set it up once and then you can just leave it and it will do its thing. So if we go into my order, you can see I've set it up to have 50% of my $10 each week to go into the US top 500 companies. And basically what this is saying is that it's taking the top 500 companies on a US stock exchange and investing a little bit into each of them. So then you're getting a very diverse or spread portfolio. So what that means is that now I've got 500 companies I'm invested in, a little bit into each one, but that's meaning that the risk is spread and there's going to be more consistent overall growth. It won't be as high maybe, but it definitely won't be as low either, and it will be consistent. The NZ top 50 I've decided to put 25% into, and that's again similar thing. It's just the top 50 companies in New Zealand. And then I've also decided to put 15% of my $10 into the Total World Fund, which is stocks across the whole world. And I've also decided to put 10% into the Emerging Markets Fund. I honestly don't know a lot about it, so this is why I'm saying I'm not a financial advisor. But I see a lot of people much smarter than myself putting money into it, so I thought I'd put a little bit into it just to hedge my bets, or to basically have another option. If the US and New Zealand are going down, emerging markets might be doing well. So you're sort of balancing out your options. So I'll show you how to set this all up. So if you went to go set it up for the first time, it's going to ask you which funds you want to put into your auto investment. So there's quite a few you can choose from in Sharesies. I believe they've got about 40 or so. I've chosen emerging markets, the New Zealand top 50, Total World, and the US 500. So you can select as many or as few as you want to. Even if you just had the NZ top 50 or just had the US 500, it's still a great option to just regularly invest $10 into either of these funds. So I select the funds and you see how much you want to invest and how frequently you want to invest into it. So $10 a week, might be $5 a week, might be $10 a month, whatever it is. I encourage doing it. It may not seem like a lot of money to you now, but over time it'll become quite a lot of money. And this is where you can start having your money work for you by getting interest on it as it sits there in your Sharesies account. And the thing is that in the long term, 20, 30, 40, 50 years time from now, you will have a large chunk of money that will help you when you come to retire, and it will help you retire. So if you want to ever retire in the future, this is what's really going to help you. You set a start date, so I set it for a couple of days after payday just to make sure I had the money in my account already, and then you click invest. It'll give you an option to say how much percentage. This is again up to you. It could just be that you do 50% in the US 500 and 50% in the New Zealand top 50. I've just decided to structure mine this way to have a little bit more diversification. So Total World, it's everything. Emerging markets, specific market outside of US and New Zealand. So that way I'm sort of spreading my options a little bit more. But if you want to keep it super simple, you could just do US, you could just do New Zealand, or you could do a combination of the two. I'm happy with that. I click invest now. Oh, come on, mate. And there you have it. It's already set up to go. So it was literally that easy. And now you can see the next investment is on the 9th of June, and that's fine because you can see that I have $10 in my Sharesies wallet available to invest. So you can see I invested and I'm actually down a little bit, 0.32%, but that's fine. That's only a little bit. It's 6 cents and it's gonna go up over time. It's guaranteed over a long period of time to go up if you're investing in a fund like the US 500. And that's not me talking shit. That's actually what has historically been shown, on average 7 to 8% on the US 500 fund. So even if you invested your full amount of money into that, that's what you could expect to see, which is still sort of 4 times what banks will pay you. So, you know, you're starting to see the point. It's worthwhile doing, even with a little bit of money, like $10 a week. That's all I'll go through today. I don't want to overcomplicate things too much on the first session. Put a comment below if you need any help or guidance in setting this up, or if you want some advice on what platform to use. I really encourage Sharesies because they have no fee for investing in funds, and they've also got a very low fee for accessing the platform. If you've got under $3,000 in Sharesies, it's only $1.50 every month. So that means that your gains should well outweigh what you pay in those fees. Like and subscribe if you want to continue following this $10 a week journey and see how my portfolio increases over time. But even better than that is I encourage you to get into it and actually do it yourself, because the compounding interest, the money over time that you will get off this, is well worth it. So I highly encourage doing it. It may not seem like a lot of money now, but trust me, it will be a decent amount of money in the future. Till next time, guys, catch you on the channel.